looks like we've caught Jeyzor in his natural habitat, creating a level in Geometry Dash, or more specifically, an effect. Let's take a look at what he's making. He's recreating every single block on the screen, including the background. But for what reason exactly? Hi and welcome, I'm Jeyzor. Have you ever thought about what it takes to make an effect in Geometry Dash? Well, I'm here to show some effects I've made in my upcoming level, Dole Damos, that I make on stream by the way. Check it out, twitch.tv/Jeyzor. And I'm gonna take you on a little journey on how I think of the ideas, how I conceptualize them, and how I finally create them. Enjoy. First and foremost, you need a reason to use an effect. Now, that could basically be anything from particles flying around to a very complex 3-dimensional gameplay. What I like to do though, is to listen to the music and imagine what that sounds comes from. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Nah, just a guy going, oh. It's a very distinct sound, just listen to it. To me that screams a transition, and that's exactly what I made out of it. Now, let's take a listen to the amen break part of the song. I had previously seen an effect of a hexagon sending out pulses in another level, and I wanted to build up on that idea. Maybe I could make the hexagon itself pulse as well, maybe I could make it to rotate. Well, this part of the song with the bass felt like a perfect opportunity for that effect. And I did all of it. I made the hexagon pulse, I made it send out pulses, and I also made it rotate. How fun. For this effect, I really wanted to emphasize the speed and the chaos you hear in the song, and I think I captured it perfectly. There's really not much else to say about it, so let's move on to part 2. For this part, I'm just deleting random squares here and there until all of it is gone and you can see everything underneath them. Simple effect, right? Wrong. Well, actually you're right, it is a simple idea, but creating it in GD is a very tedious process, I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna show exactly what I mean by that. It took me at least 10 hours to make a simple effect like that, and you can only see it like for a second. That's insane. 10 hours for a second of the... Do you guys understand that? I'm going insane. Anyway, the idea is simple. I freeze the screen, I move the tiles randomly, and then I show the new part underneath. The idea is there, and I'm confident I can make that easily in GD. Now, for the pulsing hexagon effect. This one was just trial and error. I had an effect in mind, and I tried different ways to implement it until I figured a way to do it. It may not seem like it, but there are over 80 groups in the hexagon effect. For the neom effect, it's just neom, neom, you know, the neom, go fast, neom, speed lines. Yes, let's make some speed lines, and that's pretty much it. That effect is the most simple one out of the 3 I've shown. Yeah, not much to say about it. Let's go on part 3. Oops. Alright, everything in this video thus far has been a build-up to this moment. You saw the title and you thought, how bad can it really be? And oh boy, it can. Let's begin with the tile transition. Because the background has a low parallax effect, I had to align it with the moment I freeze first, before I even started working on the blocks. That's relatively easy. I just play the still level and then pause at the right moment and copy the background into the new position. The circles don't align though, so I have to manually edit each one that was on top of the grid so that I can cut it through the grid. This already is pretty annoying since there are so many different sized circles and they're positioned in different places, so I have to cut them at different spots. And then on the actual blocks. Now, normally I always use the least amount of objects for my tile sets, and that means objects can overlap with the grid by quite a lot sometimes. Here's the tile set, and you can already see how removing just one square while keeping others intact next to it is literally impossible. So I have to edit each one and cut them so they fit into the grid. Now imagine doing that for 200 blocks. You know what it's gonna look like, you know it's gonna work, it just takes a lot of hours to get every single block correct. Anyway, let's talk about the hexagon background. I started off with the hexagon just rotating around its center. I struggled a bit with the move triggers combined with rotate triggers. If you've ever tried combining move triggers and rotate triggers, you know that they are just a complete pain. It never works how you want it to, so I had to figure out something else. What I then tried was the move to target option in the move triggers. I added circles around the hexagon, an inner ring and an outer ring. Then I add an extra group of circles that moves between each of those rings. In total, this is already 18 group IDs. Now all that's left is copying the hexagon and making the blocks follow both vertices of each face. Now the pulse on the hexagon is completed. Now triple that work to get the pulsing line to work. Like, look at this. It's insane. It's basically just the same thing I explained, but with an extra move in the middle in order to stretch the line to fit the entire screen. It's far from perfect, but it's good enough for me. Let's move on to the next one. I don't want to talk about this anymore. As I've stated, this effect wasn't bad to make, but there is one interesting thing I would like to show you. Usually, when I make looping backgrounds and foregrounds, I manually move each layer to the right once it's off screen. This time, I decided to use collision blocks, and it works really well. There's a line of collision blocks on the left, and then I have a collision block at the end of each layer. And once those two collide, the layer is moved to the right, and then they go back left, and they collide again, and then they get moved again. Other than that, it's just 4 layers of different sized lines. 2 of them are the same color as the background, and 2 of them are the same color as the blocks. The lines also have various C orders, so the colors mix cleanly instead of one color being all wet in front of the other. And that is all of the effects I wanted to show you. Hope you enjoyed the video and perhaps learned something new. Who knows? Anyway, since you made it this far, maybe you'd enjoy watching me build the level live on Twitch. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday around 4 PM GMT. And if that's a bad time for you, I also have a VOD channel I started recently. Also merch. All of these links are in the description, check them out. Anyway, since you made it this far, even after all the plugs, I'm gonna show you a little sneak peek of Dole Damos. Bye bye.